Hello and welcome back to our 16th episode of Auto Eats and
You
Beats.
can drive now.
Yes, today I have I don't know if I should call him special or not, but I have a guest who's an old friend of mine. He's definitely into cars, maybe more trucks than cars, I don't know.
Yeah.
He's definitely into music. I know
I am,
that.
yes.
Probably because of me. Maybe a little bit.
To a degree.
Definitely because of church.
Yeah.
And then what else? You love food.
Oh
We've
gosh,
had,
yes.
I don't know how much food.
Dude, I love my genres of food.
So, this is Bradley. Bradley's an
everybody.
old friend of mine. I don't know that you have Instagram or we
I
post
don't.
your socials.
I don't.
Yeah, I don't know. He's a great guy. He's a good fella.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, so let's hit some intro music and then get to know our guests. Kick off the new year, our first guest, I guess. Well,
Yeah.
Wade was a guest
Wade
last
was,
week
but-
or for New Year's, but
Wade's old news.
yeah,
Wade's old
Wade's
news.
old news. So yeah, let's chat and let's hit some intro music and then chat about some cars, food, and music.
Okay.
Sweet.
I don't have it memorized.
That music.
Okay, I had no doubt. But the first time you played it, I was like, he did the music.
The
He did that.
graphics took me 9 hours.
Did you do the graphics?
9 hours? Yes.
Okay, because
I couldn't figure out how to do it.
I think they're good
It's so-
graphics.
I'm glad.
Because, no,
Everybody
when we
likes-
watched
like,
the
his-
first episode, when I watched that first episode, I saw the graphics and I was like, did he hire somebody to do those?
I wish.
I
I
wonder.
wish. That made me want
'Cause,
to go insane.
Like, it looked like an amateur graphic design that
Oh.
you'd get off of, I'm forgetting. It looks like you paid someone $30-$40 to do
yeah.
those.
No, I
Like-
took way too long to.
No, they looked good.
The
I'll
music
vouch for
was
you
easy.
there.
The music was very
Yeah.
easy. I'm a musician.
Yeah,
I
you-
write
you do the
produce
music.
songs and stuff. That was easy.
Yeah.
It was the graphics that I was going, why did I not hire somebody? I'm absolutely crazy.
I figured you would have.
So
Oh, okay. That's impressive.
yeah, thank you. So let's get down to it.
Yes.
We went off to college. I haven't really seen you too
We
much.
did.
We've gone out and had food
Yeah.
and stuff several times.
Met a few
when,
times.
but we
When we're
live,
both in town.
yeah, we live 500 miles apart, so
We
it's
do.
difficult for us to hang out and see each other and things like that. So the question is, what are your favorite foods, and had they changed from when we were best friends and I got to see you last? We're still best friends,
Still,
but
yeah.
like when I
We've
got
gone
to
off
see
to
you.
do our own things.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a good question. My tastes have definitely expanded.
Okay.
Still hate tomatoes.
Really?
I hate them.
You've always
They're
hated
nasty.
tomatoes. I don't
Dude, they're
understand
disgusting. Because they're
Oh.
bad.
Half our viewers just quit right there.
No, they're staying just to hate. A hate view is still a view.
That's okay. Yeah, leave your comments right now. How bad Bradley.
Insult me, it does nothing. I don't know. I would still have to say Haitian rice and beans is still number one.
Ooh.
Like,
That's right.
still,
you went down to Haiti.
yes.
Yeah.
When I went to Haiti, that single-handedly became the best food I've ever had. However, I am 10 times more willing to try anything. So me and my girlfriend, Mac, I actually took her out for 6 months on the 29th.
Okay.
There's a restaurant here called Stuardo's Olive Oil Company.
Ooh. Okay. I don't
They
know
have
that I
like
know.
50 different types of olive oils and balsamics. Super good. But they have these monthly cooking classes where they've got a chef
That sounds
that he lives in Smiths Grove. He does all of these cooking classes and they're very nice.
Yeah.
We did that the 29th, and dude, it was the best food I've had all year.
Ah.
What it is like it was it was expensive, but it was worth it for 6 months.
What was the meal?
So he comes up with a menu each month,
Okay.
and there's like 40 people that go.
Yeah.
It's like 20 open spots for 2 people each. You go, you pick a course, 4-course meal, and you eat it. So the meal itself was, you had, what was the appetizer? I want to say the appetizer was sweet and savory sweet potato canopies. So it was a sweet potato slice
Yeah.
with a feta, walnut, and cranberry salad on top.
That actually sounds so good.
Dude, it was the best. It was my favorite part of it. So you had the sweet and savory canopies, and then you had sauteed scallops in, was it rosemary infused olive oil?
I know that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So you had sauteed scallops in rosemary infused olive oil, as well as crab stuffed shrimp.
Okay.
Then for the main course, you had braised brisket meatballs.
Interesting.
Dude, they were the best meatballs I've ever had.
Really?
As in, they were sweet. They had they were braised in a cranberry glaze.
Yeah.
So it was a cranberry based sauce. So it went well with the sweet potatoes.
Okay.
Then you had the meatball itself, which was made with high quality, like local brisket.
Ooh.
All of the
Yeah,
ingredients
big
were
fan of brisket.
yeah. All of the ingredients were as locally sourced as possible.
Yeah.
Meaning not only were they high quality, but they were fresh.
So this is a local restaurant?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Well-
you're like,
So it's not a restaurant.
well,
It's an olive oil shop
okay.
that they have
And they
the
do-
restaurant, the cooking classes each month.
Okay, that makes
And
sense.
then
So you're
there's-
giving back to the community as well.
Yeah,
while
pretty
while
much.
You go and,
Oh yeah.
that's why we like buying local.
I mean, the entire first like 25 minutes, the chef was explaining where everything came from. He was like, "All right, we have the brisket came from a place off 6880.
Yeah.
The I forget where exactly each ingredient was from, but it was like some things were from Louisville. There was a little bit from Lexington, but it was all Kentucky owned, local small businesses.
Okay.
So it wasn't he went to Walmart and bought a bunch of brisket. It was
Yeah.
he went to a meat shop that raises their cows grass fed in Kentucky, in Bowling Green, buys the brisket, makes the meatballs.
Nice.
And then like it was the dessert, dude. Oh my gosh. Me and Mac ended up working on a dessert station. So we made chocolate covered strawberries with cognac in them.
Oh my
So like
gosh.
we made the chocolate covered strawberries, then we took a syringe with cognac and injected cognac into the strawberries. They were dangerous.
This sounds expensive, dude. I need
It was-
whatever
it was
job you
pricey.
have to be able to afford this.
the
kind of-
job I have paid for it in a month in advance, so I didn't have to worry about money.
Oh.
I just kind of paid for it and forgot about it. The other dessert was a handmade bourbon ball,
Ooh,
which
okay.
those things.
I'm not a big fan of bourbon balls, to be honest.
I love
like
them.
all of so my dad and my mom love.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know if my mom does. I know my dad loves bourbon balls. My brother even
Mhm.
likes them. Like
love 'em.
they're. I think they're too sweet for me. Like bourbon's good, but I like the kind of
You like a more drier
taste.
bourbon.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't like. I do like sweet bourbons. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. But I'm
You
I
like
don't
it
know,
a
I'm a little
stouter
bit more.
bourbon.
Yeah, I'm a little bit more picky about it. I also would like like when like obviously that's a candy. Really,
Yes,
is what
it
is.
is.
And it's supposed to be
100%.
something you can eat. If you're not 21, don't freak
Yeah.
out. You could still eat that. You
Yeah.
know. So I don't know. It's kind of a toss up there on
Yeah.
whether I like it or not because of the way that the bourbon is.
Yeah. Oh, see, they were strong, and I love the taste of bourbon. Those things
I can't
would
say whether I do
knocked
or not.
someone. I can't. I am only one. I am the only one of my friend group that is of age, and I love
For now.
bragging. Yeah, it's a stupid thing to brag about, but it's so fun. But no, the bourbon balls were phenomenal. Like they were very
he said
good.
phenomenal, not me. That's something to my
Okay.
mom. She watches the
Oh, okay.
podcast and she's been like getting on. So evidently, for our viewers and listeners, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but apparently I say phenomenal like constantly
That's a good word.
on the podcast. And so my mom, anytime I say it at home, she's like, you're saying it again, and points it out.
Yeah, she
every
can point it
single
out.
time.
She can point it out to me.
So
Point it out
now
to me this
she can
time.
start bugging somebody else
Yeah.
instead of me.
I'll take that one. But no, that was probably the best meal I've had this year. It was very high quality. It was just a super fun experience in general.
Oh yeah.
And it was so good.
So, something that I've noticed, the guests that I've had on that have eaten outside of the US, right? Or even Jack, who, if you're watching, who hasn't, who didn't go and eat it outside of the US, but had Korean barbecue. Like, those kinds of, or I guess Jack may have not had Korean barbecue, but he's gonna try it eventually. But like those kind of foreign foods, for whatever reason, seem to be the hit over American foods.
Yeah.
Which is just something I noticed. Like for me, I like the Italian food, and we've talked about like the Italian pizza that I had in Rome. Oh my gosh, like a margherita pizza. Holy crap. It's the greatest pizza ever. And, I've got a lot of people, like, my dad may disagree because he loves Chicago pizzas and things like that. But it's like, that's just, I like the food from other countries, I think, better.
Yeah. I would tend to agree. I think a lot of that is due to how just new it is.
Well,
I would say
we're a new country, too.
Yeah.
In comparison to most countries. So it's hard for us to have, like, our own food. We kind of adapt.
I wouldn't even say new in the sense of America being a young country. I would say new in terms of most Americans will never travel outside the U.S. because of how large it is.
Yeah.
So we've had our staples, and the moment you try something new, it's
I don't know.
It's the surprise. This is different. I like this. This is
that makes
very
sense.
nice. But also, there's a lot more home cooking in other countries.
Oh,
At least in countries not as developed as America, there's a lot less processed food and fast food. I mean, there still is, but you're sitting with home cooked meals, which a lot of Americans don't regularly eat,
Oh yeah.
which makes a difference.
Yeah.
So I will say there are some American foods that I genuinely don't think I'll ever like less than others. Like, there are some things that I will always prefer.
Now, to be fair, I'm pretty sure an American backyard, if you're in the South and you have an American barbecue or you're grilling out, in the backyard, I don't really think there's anything that beats that. Or that could really beat that.
There's nothing
very
that
few
compares to
Yeah,
it.
there are very few things.
There's nothing that compares to it. Like you
because
look at a
other
southern
country
barbecue.
barbecues are very different.
Yeah.
Like Korean barbecue, for instance, we were just talking about that. That's just
It's a different cooking
Yeah.
style. Like if you look at different countries, they have different styles of cooking. I would argue that the American cuisine, because I had, what was it? It was a food waste class, and we talked about does America have a cuisine as an American culture? I mean, you look at Asian cuisine centered around rice and certain spices and seasonings. You look at Indian food, curry, like that's the token Indian spice. You look
Yeah.
at Mexican, you're gonna have a lot of corn and a little bit of spice, but it's gonna taste different. So the argument was, does America have its own unique cuisine? And I would argue that Southern food is the cuisine. Yes, it was influenced, like you have Cajun food influenced by French.
Well, we have foods
Bay Area
like
food
corn and
influenced.
stuff, like
Exactly.
cornbread and things like that. Like that's
Exactly.
not
Cornbread,
it's
barbecue.
a very southern thing.
Exactly. I would argue that America does have a cuisine. It's just because the nation's so big that not every area in America has developed such a cuisine.
Okay, that makes sense. I'll agree with that.
So I would argue that like Southern cooking is America's cuisine.
Okay, so you have expanded your range of taste.
I have.
Probably since the last time that I saw you. What, over the summer? No, before that.
It was before summer because I was gone this summer.
Yeah, so was I. I was in Italy for a little while. So it would have been, last year about this time?
Yeah.
About winter break.
Yeah.
When we went and ate at Griff's or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The boys.
Yes. So,
So-
yeah, that's awesome. Okay. Are you more of a car guy, a truck guy? Like, where are you on this? Because I don't know that we've ever really had the discussion of cars that much. Like, that was more of something that Jason and I talked about.
Yeah.
We were all hanging out.
You and Jason
More
swear on
Jason.
that.
We're you know, are
In-
you always seem like the guy that's like, if it gets me from point A to point B and
That's-
it's
yeah.
fairly cheap, I'm good. Let me have it, you know?
See, that's that's really where I still am.
Okay, so
I do have some preferences though.
like a dream car, things like if you finally
Yeah.
gotten.
Oh. There's a few cars that I would do some unspeakable things to attain. I'd kill man for some vehicles.
Oh gosh.
1970 Mach 1 Mustang.
Ooh.
Everybody freaking raves
With
about
the
the
fastback.
69.
Okay.
Everybody raves about the 1969 was the greatest year muscle cars ever saw. I'll agree with you there.
I don't know.
However, I prefer the 1970 Mach 1 Mustang.
I think my dad would probably agree with you on
Like,
that one.
I love that car.
Although
That
I don't
would
know
be
if
my
my
dream.
dad was saying we were talking about Mustangs the other day. So my mom wants her kind of dream retirement car now that she's retired, and once she's gotten both me and my brother
Yeah.
through school, through college, my parents are like, hey, we'll be able to afford things.
Yeah, there's
'cause we
not
don't
two
have
kids to pay for.
Yeah. So my mom was like, I want a baby blue Mustang, preferably a convertible. And she wants either 66, 67, or 68.
Okay.
Maybe
yeah.
69.
The girls years. The girls years. Yeah.
Now, I say that lightly because 67 did have the fastback that
Yeah, it
wasn't the
Mhm.
girls' year,
Yeah.
you know.
But those 3 years, those were the girls. years.
Now, I would say the 70 to 72, maybe even 73, were really the only years Mustang has ever had, except for the new Mustang Dark Horse. Those are the only years that Mustang has ever had that are masculine
Yeah.
muscle cars.
Yeah.
They really are.
Yeah.
Mustangs are built for women, and I talked about this a little bit with Coy. For our viewers, listeners, if you haven't watched that episode, that was like episode 12 or 13, where we drive around in his EcoBoost. We may have not talked about it on the podcast as much as we did off the podcast, but the Mustang, the way that it's designed and the way, like, the height difference getting in and out of the car, like, it's really
Yeah.
meant for women.
And it's
I say that, although there are other years, like the Shelby.
Yeah,
Obviously,
the
the
Shelby
Shelby
was a
Mustang
beast.
was, but that's a whole
was a
different.
man's car.
That's a different Mustang altogether.
Yeah.
I'm not.
It-
It's
it's
not
a different
really a
purpose.
Mustang. But yeah, that's. Other than that, Mustangs were really and always have been a muscle car, maybe a little bit into the sports car
Yeah.
for women. They're not really meant for men.
See, I would put Mustang in terms of muscle to sports car. If you're looking at a bell curve.
Okay.
Challenger muscle car every day of the week. Like, we're looking at old Dodge Challenger.
Okay. So
The old Dodge Challenger
I would just-
muscle car.
I think the old Chargers are better.
Really?
Yeah, because they're two-door. You know, that's when they
Okay.
made them back.
Yeah.
Like, you know, they made real cars.
That's fair.
I think the Charger, and there may be people that disagree and
Yeah.
hate on this. My father maybe one. Actually, no, he owned a Charger, so he should be
Yeah.
more in line with what I'm saying now. But like, I seriously think that the Chargers are a little bit better when it comes to that. Well, the other thing is, like, you had cars like Oldsmobile
Yeah.
and you know, the Pontiacs.
Well, see, even then, I would still Firebird is a nice looking car. I would put, let's just say, Dodge on one end of the spectrum
Okay.
and Camaro on the other.
Ooh.
Because I have always looked at a Camaro, even the older models, as that is a sports car, not a muscle car.
Really?
I have always,
I disagree.
especially in modern era.
Oh,
Like,
man.
the Mustang has retained some of its muscle car look. The Dodge Challenger has
It's
retained.
definitely-
The Dodge Challenger is a muscle car. The Charger nowadays looks like a sports car, but modern Camaros look like a sports car.
I don't
Like,
think
I
so.
could never look at a Camaro and be like, that screams muscle car.
See, when I look at a Camaro, that's all I see is muscle car. Because when I think of a sports car, I think of something more sleek. Like, for instance, the Corvette is like
Yeah.
America's
It's America's
sports car for sure.
America's
It's almost
sports car, America's
a
supercar.
really.
That's what I consider.
It's like
I consider
barely a
it,
supercar, but it is.
especially with the newer ones.
Oh my
The
gosh.
C8s and then the freaking
mid-engines.
the Zora.
You and Caleb
The
would get along.
Zora.
You and Caleb would get along.
They're flat. That is a supercar.
Oh my gosh.
That's a
Yes, they are.
supercar.
What's also cool, those are also like the most affordable supercars too. Like
Oh,
they're
100%.
honestly, if
Yeah.
you look at it, compared to like what a supercar should be and compared to
Yeah.
other supercars, they're really quite affordable.
I mean, if you look at any of the entry level supercars, they're all also
I
expensive.
agree.
Because I think it's the European namesake. The European design and namesake is so synonymous.
because it's like
with
Ferrari,
Lamborghini, Ferrari. You have all of the big
McLaren,
ones.
yeah,
Yes.
Koenigsegg, all of those.
all
yeah.
of them. And then the Corvette.
Yeah,
The
and it's
Stingray.
just- it's
The
just something
Stingray.
else. The E-Ray is cool, and I
It
go
is.
on and on
It
about
is.
the E-Ray anytime I get the opportunity to. I love the E-Ray, and everybody just dogs on it because they think that
Yeah.
it's an electric vehicle. It is not. It's nothing. It has, that big bad boy
Yeah.
engine in the back.
Yeah.
The only thing different is they took and they put an electric motor in the
Yeah.
front to give it more torque, and all it does is just power
Yeah.
the drivetrain. Because electric cars, when they take off, if we talk about
Oh.
Teslas, when a Tesla
The
takes
acceleration
off,
is
it's wild.
instant.
It's
Instant.
wild.
Well, see,
But the issue is they can't just keep going, and they also electric cars, because of the weight distribution and everything else, the handling is terrible. They're
Yeah.
just heavy.
they're
too
heavy.
for it.
But
They
there's
don't
so
turn.
much more. Electric vehicles have the capacity to be so much more powerful than a combustion engine could.
I don't think I disagree, and because like if you look at the fastest cars in the world, they're still gasoline. And I think with the electric car, I think that we could maybe get there one day, but I just don't see us there within a reasonable time. Like it's gonna
Yeah,
take a
it's
while
gonna take a
before
while.
we get to that point.
Well, something interesting that I've heard, and I would love, and I expect to see more of, but not necessarily commercially, is hybrids. In terms of
Oh, I love.
If you
hybrids.
look at any modern day train,
okay,
the kind of operating system they have is they have a diesel engine and electric motors.
yeah,
So they get phenomenal performance. They're powerhouses, as well as a good 100 some odd miles to the gallon.
yeah.
If we could shrink that down, V8 engine
oh yeah.
for power, electric motor.
Mm.
The combination, like a diesel electric hybrid, I would argue is commercially the peak engine motor design
Interesting.
because of you'd get the best of both worlds.
Yeah, I think so. I really like the hybrids. I like the way they're designed. I think, in all honesty, one of the best things, and I think I've said this before, one of the best things that Ford could have ever done was create the EcoBoost.
Mm.
Just that kind of hybrid power where it's not necessarily that you have to physically plug in type of hybrid either. I'm
Yeah.
not saying that, like, I love the plug-in hybrids, but I'm saying a hybrid that generates electricity and power
Yeah.
from your braking, from
I think-
the way that you drive, things like that. That's such genius engineering to do that. And a lot of that's really German engineering more than anything. I mean, you see that more on, Mercedes and BMW and Porsche than you do really
Yeah.
any other cars, even Audis. So it's
Yeah.
very,
I think the transition to electric has been rocky.
ooh, I think so for sure.
I think it's been overemphasized and done too fast. However, I think electric also gets dogged on too much.
Ooh, I don't know if
because-
I ever dog on electric too.
Oh,
much.
you can dog it. But I'm saying, like, the people that are going to dog on electric till the day they die, I think it's a bit much. You can have your preference. I prefer combustion. I don't prefer electric.
Okay.
However, I'm not gonna sit here and say that there's no benefits to it.
Oh no, there are definitely benefits.
Like there are
People who live-
undeniable benefits,
Yeah.
and undeniable performance levels that have not been tapped into.
I agree.
That shouldn't be. No, electric is evil. Electric should never be anything.
Yeah.
Like, all right, come
Now,
on, cut them some slack.
Something that I have seen is obviously so hydrogen is becoming a big thing
Yeah.
now. And
Mhm.
we have all of these car manufacturers that
Yeah.
are starting to really dive into and play with hybrid
Yeah.
vehicles. I'm interested to see how well that works in the
Yeah.
car industry. The biggest thing for me with the hybrid isn't necessarily the car itself. It would be fuel.
Yeah.
Because, where do you refill? When and transporting
Yeah.
hydrogen and stuff, that's a
Extremely.
little tough.
Well, see, the thing is the hydrogen fueling. There's so many goods and bads to it.
Yeah.
The main bad is that it is extremely volatile, and
I mean,
kaboom,
so is electric. I mean, we've seen
But-
electric cars just blow up.
and burn for
Yeah.
a month. But with hydrogen power, have you ever heard of the guys like there's one or two few people that have like engineered their vehicle to run on water, and then next thing you know, bang by the government.
Yeah, I've
Like,
heard all that stuff.
I've heard it.
That's
I can't back that up, but like I think that looking into that, like welcome back to discovering the steam engine. But I would argue that hydrogen power is well worth investing into
Okay.
in terms of like we need to explore this option because of how efficient it is. It's how rockets are
So
fueled.
here's where I disagree. Instead of focusing, so this is what my big point was with the hydrogen. Instead of focusing on hydrogen, I think in all honesty, we should be focusing on solar. That's just an untapped territory.
Yeah.
Like you just
Yeah, I've heard of a couple solar vehicles, solar charging.
But I mean, like the only solar charging vehicles that we really know of, like that work, are on Mars. Like
Yeah. The technology's there, it's just
nobody's ever really thought about. Hey, and if they have, it's not been commercialized as a
Yeah.
thought. The thought's been very individualized. I think we should commercialize that thought. And wait, listen. If Elon Musk really wants to help change the world and all this other crap that he says he's going to do, then I think he should dive into solar vehicles and exploring that world. Otherwise, Teslas are cool, but not really.
See,
I'm not a big fan
I don't
of
know.
Teslas compared to most electric vehicles.
I don't know next to anything about solar vehicles. I just don't.
I think
That's not
that's
something
the
I can-
issue.
yeah.
I don't think anybody's really ever tried to
Yeah.
figure it out.
I don't know.
It would be interesting to see though, for
Yeah.
sure. It would definitely be interesting to see. Oh my goodness. It has been a long day. I'm tired.
Mm.
Yeah, I see the Camaros and
Yeah.
next to the Charger. See, I think that's very muscular compared
See,
to the
I
Okay, the
think
Challenger.
I think the Charger Challenger screams muscle car. The Camaro looks sleeker to me. Like it
Okay,
looks,
I'll give you
it
that.
looks
It does a
sleeker
little bit more
than a
sleek.
Mustang or a Challenger, and that's why I look at it and go sports car.
No, that makes sense.
Sports
I
car.
will definitely go with that. That one.
Corvette, sports car all the way, and
Oh my gosh, that's like
Just-
the biggest sports
it's
car.
it's
Yeah.
the car. Like it's it's the car.
I love sports. I love Corvettes. I like sports cars. Okay, so did we even say what your favorite car was? I don't know if we just glossed over that or not.
My favorite car would be a Mustang.
Would be a Mustang.
I'm a
Is
Mustang
that just
guy.
that old.
Yes, the
70 Mach 1?
old
Okay.
muscle car Mustang is my favorite.
Yeah. All right.
It's my favorite.
Nice.
So,
See, I'm one of those guys where I have a couple favorites and I can't really choose which one I like more.
that's fair.
Like I love okay, so obviously, so you know this, our audience listeners may not. Big fan of James Bond.
Yes.
Big James Bond fan. I think you knew
Aston
this was
Martin.
coming. Yes.
Aston Martin.
DB4, DB5.
Yeah.
Yes, I love that.
Yeah.
That DB5 from Goldfinger, the DB4, Dr. No, all of those from Rush
Yeah.
with Love. Yes. Love Aston Martin. So it's like, if I'm going classic, that's what I'd want. If
Okay.
I'm going modern, I want a Porsche. And it depends on what
Okay.
I'm doing modern. Whether
Okay.
I'm doing off-roading, if I want an off-roading vehicle, I do the Porsche Dakar, the Porsche 911
Okay.
Dakar, which is, or Dakar,
Yeah. However you pronounce
Yeah.
it. Porsche.
And then the other out of the modern that I would go would be another Porsche, but it would be the GT3 RS.
Okay.
I love the
Okay.
GT3 RS. I would love to have one. I don't have $500,000 just laying around, so I don't know
Sadly.
that I'll get one.
Sadly.
But, you know, and even if I did have $500,000 just lying around, I'd probably
Yeah,
take it and
there's-
invest it. So,
Well, I'll say this. I'll agree with you in terms of Porsche being a phenomenal looking vehicle. Like I think they've
that's
been
like the
one
only
of the
thing.
most they've been one of the most consistently good
Yeah, I was
looking
about to
vehicles.
say.
Like you look at an old 911,
that's because the looks
beautiful
haven't
vehicle.
changed.
Yeah, you look at a new 911,
It's like the exact same.
still beautiful.
Yeah.
Still just a
Hey,
phenomenal
if it
looking
works,
car.
keep it, I guess,
Yeah.
you know?
Like Porsche's definitely done well in the design department.
Oh, I agree. I definitely agree.
As far as modern cars go,
Yeah, that's where it gets you. That's where you go, oh, wait, what do I like? What do I not like? You know?
yeah. I don't want to say supercar just because it's like, all right, let's like a Porsche. As much as it's over expensive and way out of budget, that's a realistic. Like people drive those on the daily.
Oh, yeah.
Like, people drive those, they're popular.
Porsche's not too...
Yeah,
Expensive.
it's just it's a high end brand.
Yeah.
It's a high end company.
It also depends on the type of Porsche you get.
It does.
You know? You get a Boxster, which is,
Yeah.
you know, that one's going to be a little bit cheaper.
Yeah.
Actually, it's going to be a lot cheaper because it's Boxster. If you get a 911, obviously it's going to be more expensive, you know, things
Yeah,
like
that's that. See, modern cars would be hard. Corvette would definitely be up there.
Oh, for
Like
sure.
Corvette's probably probably the best answer I have for you now. Because I don't know much about, I don't know enough about modern
Modern
European cars that aren't hypercars.
Okay, so Asian
Like-
cars then? Are there any Asian? I'm not a big Jap Trap fan.
Oh, I like the Jap Trap. I like them.
I know a lot of
I
people
like
that do. I'm just, you know.
Honda Civic Type R.
Ooh.
Give me the stick shift Honda Civic, man. Give me a Honda Civic and a computer on the side, and
You'll be happy.
dude, I love the street racing scene. Like it's so cool to me. Japanese street racing is so cool.
Yeah.
Like give me a stupidly modifiable car and go crazy.
Okay.
Like so in terms of maybe not modern cars, but just
Okay.
cars in general.
Yeah.
RX-7.
Oh,
Mazda RX-7 rotary
okay.
engine, like you can
You and Jonathan with those rotary engines.
the
now.
RX-7.
Yes.
Also, if we're looking at cars that wouldn't be the best in the world for drifting, but wouldn't be bad, Nissan 300Z, 240. Like I love those cars. I think they're good looking cars.
Nice.
I like the 300, the 240, Miatas. Gosh,
I'm
such
not a
beaters,
big-
dude.
I do not like
Miatas are
Miata.
such beaters, but I love them. They got the little blinking headlight, like dude,
Not
I
a
think they look
fan
so
of
good.
those
I love them.
I do not.
Like,
I can't stand Miatas.
dude, if I had a Miata, I would drive that thing everywhere. I would.
I don't
So-
know. So I've been looking. I would love to get. Recently, my big what I want to get is one of the Factory 5 is a brand. It's a company
Okay.
where they make kit cars that you can
Okay.
build yourself,
Yeah.
right? And I want to so badly get a Factory 5 Shelby Cobra and build my own Shelby Cobra. Oh my god.
Yeah.
They're so Shelby Cobras are just some
They
of the
are.
coolest. Okay, so we live in the South too. Like,
Yeah.
you know, how could you go wrong with the Cobra? I don't think you can.
No, you can't. They're
Really
such
can't.
good cars. Like such a good vehicle.
They're they're so
power.
oh, I was about to say they're so powerful for how light they are. They're
Yeah.
ridiculously
Yeah.
powerful.
Mhm.
Like almost a little bit too powerful in the sense because there's just so much
Yeah.
and they're so light it can be a little scary.
There's so much power for it being so readily available.
Yes.
That's what it is.
But
Like
I
it's
mean
it's more accessible than most vehicles are.
it's obvious that Shelby did
Yeah.
a great job with it because he has it just
Yeah.
right to where, it's the Cobra is just wide enough that it's not going to just pick up off the ground easily anyways.
He was
But
an
it's-
engineer.
But it's not heavy enough that, it's going to add too much weight to your
Yeah.
drive. Like it's just a
It's a
really
it's a
perfect car,
It's a
to be
beautiful
honest.
car.
It really is.
So
All right, so we've talked about cars and a lot about food, and I'm still a little mad that you didn't take me to go to this cooking class.
well, sorry, Scott. We can do that. We can do that another time.
So what would be I want to slug you.
I
So-
wanted to.
I was like,
are we gonna? It's like, should we do it?
probably.
It's like, are we gonna
not.
remain professional,
Probably, yeah.
or do I just slug him on camera?
That's what I was waiting. I was like, oh gosh, I know he's thinking it, so I might as well just punch the crap out of him right now.
Both of us.
Okay, so let's get back to it. Let's talk about some music. So
Okay.
you are definitely a big music guy.
That I am.
You love music, all different
do.
kinds of music. I honestly don't know that I know what your favorite genre of music is.
Oh gosh, that's a
Played a bunch of different genres. You
I've-
mostly play gospel though for
yeah.
church, right?
I played for church. When it comes to favorite music genre, it's really hard to peg it down because, like, yeah, favorite genres at different times.
Okay.
But I would argue this year, because I can sit her down to a year pretty easily.
Yeah.
This year, it's been older sounding country, like simple country. Like my favorite country album of all time is Gunfighter Ballads and Trail Songs by Marty Robbins, 1959.
Okay.
That's my favorite country album of all time. Like Big Iron.
Not a bad.
Big Iron, that's the main, that's the
not a
famous one.
bad- Not a bad.
Yeah,
album.
my favorite song on that album is The Master's Call. Love that
Ooh,
song.
Okay.
But as of this year, it's not been so much of me listening to older country. It's been more so country that isn't popular country. So-
that's fair.
I have gotten
See, I've been listening
really
to a lot of the popular, but I'm playing it more.
yeah,
So it's a different.
natural occurrences. I love Coulter Wall. He's blown up.
Okay.
He's super popular. Love Coulter Wall. He's a simple man. He makes music. He releases music. He doesn't do big concerts. Doesn't do interviews. He just makes music. And then on the side, he's his main job, cattle farmer. Like he's a rancher.
Yeah.
Love Coulter Wall. Rattlesnake Milk.
I don't even know. Who that
Super
is.
smaller artist. Like maybe less than 200,000 listeners on Spotify.
Okay.
Some really good music.
Nice.
Marty Robbins, of course. I like the simple and older country.
Waylon Jennings. type
Yes,
Stuff.
the Highwaymen. Love Cash. Everybody
Oh,
loves
of
Johnny
course,
Cash, but
yeah.
if you don't like Johnny Cash, you're wrong. Love Johnny Cash, but that would be right now just authentic, simpler country.
All right. Yeah. That makes sense. See, when I listen to country, okay, so I am more of a blues guy and a soul
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
So when I listen to country, I like the old country like
Yeah.
that. That's more, a blues than it really is
Yeah.
anything else.
Yeah.
And then I like the modern country. When it comes to modern stuff, I really like Chris Stapleton type
Yeah.
of stuff.
Oh,
Because that's more.
Yeah.
I personally
It's real
refuse
country.
to accept. No, I don't even think Chris Stapleton's country.
Really?
I refuse to accept the fact that he's country. When you listen to it, like, okay, go listen to, and this is like the most famous and easiest song to pick out, Tennessee Whiskey.
Yeah.
That riff is Etta James, I'd Rather Go Blind. Every day, all day. That
Okay.
Yeah. That is completely soul and R&B. That's what that is.
Okay.
So when
That's
it
an
comes
interesting take.
to
but
that, and if
I
you
see where you're
listen-
coming from.
You watch the way he plays and the way he sings. He is definitely a soul singer and
Okay.
a soul player. Like when you watch him, he plays his Fender Jazzmaster or Jaguar
Yeah.
or whatever it is. It's a soul sounding guitar. That
Okay.
is not by any means a country guitar.
I gotcha.
When it comes to country electric guitars, you know, we're thinking of like Telecasters, you know, with the B-benders and things
Yeah.
like that. Not at all a Jazzmaster or a Jaguar.
Okay.
That's just not the sound, you know, or maybe like a hollow body or semi-hollow guitar,
Yeah.
kind of like what, you know, what Marty McFly played in Back to the Future, you know, that's the style that most people think of when they have, electric guitars on country
Mhm.
music, but mostly Telecasters.
Yeah.
He does not play. He's playing very. It even has it in the name, you know, Jazzmaster. I don't know if he plays a Jazzmaster or a Jaguar or both, but like a Jazzmaster is most definitely. That's not. It has it in the name.
It's not a country guitar.
And Jaguar and stuff. There's a Porsche Boxster. Now that I mentioned it, there's
Mhm.
see one. So it's like, you know, we see all of that kind of stuff. I
Yeah.
think he's a soul artist. I will
I don't know.
till the day I die
know.
fight saying that. I'd love to meet him and ask his take on it.
Yeah.
Because you can tell he's very influenced, especially by Southern soul, like Memphis soul and
Yeah.
R&B.
That you can tell that in how much passion he has in his voice.
Yeah, well,
In the way he sings.
in the way he sings, in
You can
the way that
tell.
he plays guitar, his riffs,
Yeah.
you can pick out and go, that's a riff from, you know, this
Okay.
soul singer. That's a riff from this soul singer. That's a riff from this, you know,
Okay.
like it's like, I hear a little Sam and Dave
Okay.
in that guitar part, or there's some Isaac Hayes style playing on some
Yeah.
keys over here, or, you know, I've got Donald the Duck Dunn on that bass
Yeah.
line. Like you can kind of hear those things when you really get into it.
Okay.
So yeah,
Hmm.
that's my take
All
on
right.
on country
All right.
when it comes down to
I'll
it.
let you have your take. I'll let you have your take. But I think definitely older country. I'd say if I had to pick one genre as a whole for my entirety, I'd have to say indie, realistically.
Ooh, I love
I'd have to
indie.
say
Love
indie.
me some indie. Backseat lovers.
Realistically, that's
Oh.
the one that I've stuck with the most.
Yes. Okay.
Like if I went through my liked song playlists, which is like 400 some odd songs, it'd be
Indie.
a million different genres. It really would be. But I'd say I would argue the majority of it would be indie, then probably followed by country.
Nice. I think that's how mine is. Most of my stuff. I say I'm a soul and blues guy, but most of my songs are indie songs.
Yeah.
But like, you know, then right after it's soul and blues.
Yeah.
But I think that's just because indie was something that I kind of discovered versus
Yeah.
like I grew up listening to
Yeah.
classic rock, soul, and R&B.
But
And
see,
Memphis
I
blues.
was that way with country. I was raised on country, then discovered indie, middle high school. Honestly, came to the point where I hated country, but that was also because the radio plays the pop country, the very
Yeah.
like stadium
Yeah.
stadium country music, which I'm not a fan of.
Stuff that
I'm
nobody
not a
wants
fan
to
of.
hear. Yeah.
Then I came back around to it and was like, there is so much more.
Fair enough.
Like there's older country, there's artists that I do like that make
Yeah.
good music that sounds completely, it's country music, it's authentic country music. It sounds completely different than Luke Bryan, Luke Combs,
I agree.
Morgan Wallen.
I'm not a big fan of Morgan Wallen. He's racist. We don't like him.
I don't like him on the whole. There's
There are a couple
there's a couple songs that I like.
Yeah.
Only a couple.
I still refuse to listen to him. You can ask. So one of the bands that I play with, Back Sydney Band, which is mainly country band, you can ask them. I refuse when I play bass for him. I refuse to play
Yeah.
bass on any Morgan Wallen songs just because I think he's just a
Yeah.
douche.
He's a piece of work.
I'm not a fan. Morgan Wallen, if you have a problem with me, I'd be more than happy to talk to you and your managers, whoever. I don't care. I'm from Kentucky. It doesn't matter to
Yeah,
me.
I like.
We love the hate. Yeah, if you're a fan of Morgan Wallen, leave it in the comments. You can dog on me. Don't care. Views are still views, right?
This is the extent of my thoughts on Morgan Wallen. couple songs I will never hate because I genuinely enjoy listening to them and I think they're good songs.
Yeah.
The rest of his discography, if you use a fake drum track, it's not a real song. Not a real country song. Last night, not a real country song.
Yeah.
It uses an artificial drum beat.
I don't know. I like kind of but I like the mix between artificial and real. I like kind of both. Like, that Phil Collins In the Air Tonight where you have a mix of both.
Yeah.
But that's different.
That's different. In terms of country music, he made a country pop song.
Yeah, pretty much.
Whereas like something like Everything I Love, that's just a fun one.
Yeah.
Like that's a fun song. And then other than that, I'm just not on the whole a Morgan Wallen fan.
Sweet.
So
Well, good peoples, thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment, all that good jazz. That's apparently still a thing, and we like money, so eventually, hopefully, we can make money off of you guys. Until then, thank you, Bradley, for joining us. Lovely guest, great friend. Hope to have you back on at some point.
Hopefully.
Probably may try to do this again in the summer sometime.
Yeah.
We're very excited for next week's lineup. We've got several people lined up for next week. It should be a lot of fun. For the next couple weeks, we got a few people. Then we'll get Caleb back on, our co-host. Caleb's been. We'll see what crazy stuff he's gotten himself into over the break.
Yeah. When are you heading back up to?
So thank you very much being on here, and
I was glad to be on here.
Listeners, leave a comment about I don't know what to leave a comment about.
Leave a comment. All right, I got this. If you want to win one of these Auto Eats and Beats canned koozies, leave a comment with. I came prepared.
Oh god.
Leave a comment with. So most people have a card. Might have a little chip in it. There are 16 numbers on the front. Then we need two numbers followed by slash. That's followed by two more. That's the date it expires. Your name. We don't have to have the middle initial, just first and last. And then there's 3 funky numbers on the back. You leave those on here, and there is a non-zero chance that you could win one of these. We don't want your address, just the information.
While you're at it, go ahead and leave your social security number in the comments too.
Yeah.
No, leave a
They
comment.
call it a social for a reason.
Leave a comment on, favorite music, favorite songs. Tune in for us. Tune in next week. Thanks for watching, guys. See y'all.